Om. 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 Sairam, everyone.
Sairam.
Just to recapitulate last week's study circle, Swami has introduced the topics of three kinds of um, sadhana, which is Rajasic, Tamasic, and Sattvic, and just trying to show us that when we do sadhana or meditation, what should be the attitude of mind and what we are looking for in terms of the benefits from it. The Sattvic path basically is looking only to have the Lord as the only goal of achieving, whereas Rajasic path would be an impatient path where it will always require validation as to how much we have progressed and so on. And Tamasic path is whenever there is something which we need, we go to God and we try to do sadhana for that purpose. I thought that's roughly what was discussed by us, and I think we can continue from there. Sairam, Sister Kalyan. Or did I? Is it 2 weeks back?
The need for bodily mental training. There is a close mutual relationship between the attitudes of the body and the attitudes of the mind. So people's inner feelings will be evident from their physical bodies. The stance and the appearance of the body help us to discover these feelings. Take one example. With the loins girded, the sleeves of the shirt rolled, and the palms rounded into fists, it is not possible to exhibit love or devotion. With bent knees, the eyes half closed, and the hands raised up over the head with the palms joined, is it possible to show one's anger or hatred or cruelty? That is why the ancient sages used to tell the spiritual aspirant that it is necessary during prayer and meditation to adopt the appropriate bodily pose. They saw that it is possible to control the waywardness of the mind by this means. Of course, for the expert spiritual aspirant, meditation is easy in any pose. But for the novice, such physical means are essential. The bodily and mental training must be undergone, only to be later discarded as but a means to attain the true eternal Atma. After this is realized, spiritual discipline has to be fixed and practiced.
Thank you very much, Sister. So I think many people may have a question: is bodily postures essential for sadhana? And Swami is explaining why the posture of the body is equally important to generate the right mental state in us. So I think there's nothing more for me to add. I will open it up for discussion, please. Saira. Because it's rather straightforward. Maybe there's no other comments.
Sairam, even in Raja Yoga, as explained by Swami Vivekananda, he advises always to sit erect with back, neck, shoulders, and head in vertical straight line. So even Baba is not so strict here, but that has to be straight for several reasons, no? So it's better we note that also.
Okay, thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts?
Sai Ram, I have a question, Brother Arno.
Yes.
Some of the Dhyana, they are talking about the Chin Mudra position, that we have to hold the hands in a certain way, the fingers. But Swami simply told it in the previous paragraph that you simply close the hands and put it on your in the thigh area, something like that. So, is there any particular reason that other posture that we're talking about Chin Mudra position is important? So is any other reasons behind it? Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Swami has not specifically spoken about any mudras or various techniques adapted for meditation here, which are generally practiced in what they call tantra, I would say, bodily postures. Here, the meditation which Swami is talking about is what he considers real meditation. I think Swami had briefly mentioned earlier on that there are many people talking about meditations in very different ways, but Swami says those are not essential in the path which Swami is recommending. That's what I can say. I don't think Swami would have anything against it, but it may be important that if we try to reconcile what other teachers are saying to what Swami is saying, we will run the risk of confusing, because ideally we should approach what Swami is teaching as if we don't know anything about meditation. Only then we can sort of understand where Swami is going. Because by the time we finish this Dhyana Vahini, we will have a better grasp of what exactly is Swami trying to tell us. That's all I can say at this point. So I think these mudra, there are other techniques which may be scientific, which may have some benefits, but Swami does not give importance to them to a great extent. That's all I can understand from what I've read so far in this Vahini. It's not that Chin Mudras are bad or things like that, but it's not essential for the path which Swami is recommending or guiding us. I hope that answers it. If anyone else has something to say, please go ahead.
So Bhagawan was saying that we have to sit in Padmasana. So Padmasana, which is keeping the body erect, but in the hands, in the case of hands, he is saying put the hands in front. He will say where, but we have to keep the fingers very closed, everything tight. That's what Bhagavan saying that. So it is sometimes easy than keeping in Chin Mudra. Chin Mudra position, sometimes it losing hold. If you go in, it slackens now. So every time we have to straight up. So so that's what I think the Bhagavan is saying. Keep the hands in the front with the closed tight position. That's good. I think it is. I feel it is better. That's my small understanding.
Sai Ram, this is Saku Auntie.
Yes, Auntie.
I have a question. Due to old age, if you cannot sit in the Padmasanam, is it possible for us to sit on a chair or this thing, but keep your back erect?
my understanding is, Auntie, we should strive as much as possible to do to the extent possible. I think that's what the Swami would expect us. If we are unable to, because of certain physical condition, I think that's okay. But I think Swami is not giving exceptions here. Swami has not mentioned exceptions because I think it's for everyone who is physically able to do this, is what I understand. That's all I can say. Yes. Anyone else who would like to?
Thank you.
Sairam.
Sairam, I think the Swami put the hand, asked to put the hand, palms joined and put over the head. That means you never ever can bend down your body. You must keep straight all the time. You keep it like that. Sairam.
Sairam, brother. So I think we can move on, Sister Kalyani and Sister Dashi.
Until the goal of meditation is achieved, the well-established discipline of sitting posture, asanas, has to be followed. The curriculum has to be adhered to till then. After attainment of the goal, that is, after the mind, manas, and the intellect, buddhi, have been conquered and brought under control, one can be immersed in meditation wherever one finds oneself, on the bed, in the chair, on a rock, or in a cart. Once you learn to ride a motorcycle, you can ride on any road and under all conditions. But when you are just learning to ride, for your own safety and for the safety of those around you, you have to select an open parade ground and you have to follow certain principles of balance. This is essential. So too, those who engage in meditation practice, sadhana, have to follow a certain course of training. No change can be made in this. So the passionate, restless, rajasic, and the dull, ignorant, tamasic forms can never be considered meditation. If the spiritual practice becomes fully pure and serene, sattvic, that is best. To describe anything in words is difficult. It might even cause boredom. But to demonstrate it by deed is easier and more pleasant. To make people understand by doing meditation is better than by talking about it. By writing, my writing on it and your reading, it will not make it easy.
So I think in terms of how we know whether we have progressed, I guess, reached a certain stage, Swami says, even how much ever, even if Swami were to write, unless we practice and experience ourselves, we really cannot fully grasp the benefits of such meditation, is what I think Swami is saying. But Swami wants us to practice meditation according to the curriculum or according to the instructions Swami has given until we get better at it and before we can expand on what we are doing in terms of meditation. And that's what I can understand here. I will open it up for anyone else to comment, please. Saira. I think Swami has also addressed Auntie Sakhu's question, where one can, wherever one finds till bed, the chair, on a rock, or in a cart.
That is afterwards.
Yes, Auntie. Because it's written for youngsters, people who are at the prime of their life. But I think effort, whatever effort we put in, will give benefit. That's what I can say. But if there are physical impediment, physically unable to do certain things, I think, which is okay. But as long as the spirit is followed, that should be good.
Thank you.
Sairam, brother. Further to the Sakwanti's question, I just have a question here. That's after the mind and the intellect conquered and brought under control. That is by practicing only you will realize, right? You
Yes.
cannot say anything about it. This is how you will feel, kind of. Am I right? Or
Yes, that's what Swami has said. Even how much ever he writes, we have to experience and know for ourselves whether our mind and buddhi are under control. That's what the last sentence says.
brother, anybody has described how it feels or anything, kind of, just to know, just to see that's how we feel it after we are doing it, kind of? Thank you, Sairam.
I think Swami will tell sisters. So that's what I can say.
Okay.
Okay. I think further Swami is, even though Swami is writing here and there, and from that I think we can know. So which basically also means that we should not prematurely think that we have brought it under control. So as long as possible, we have to continue this discipline is, I think, what I understand.
Sairam.
Anyone else would like to share your thoughts, please?
Sairam, yeah, I think that's Sister Aruna's question. It's a very difficult thing, you know. So I have heard many people, even among, you know, within close circle, people say that I have that experience. There is, how do we, that actually, until and unless we experience for ourselves, it doesn't help us even much, you know. Others or even we might think we experience something in some meditative experience, and you say it could be hallucination or imagination. So these are very difficult things. I don't know. It's unless we come to that stage and we have you know, we practice as Sivadas earlier mentioned in Raja Yoga, meditation or whatever you practice under a direct guru who already read there and guide you. So this is very very difficult. This thing. That's why Swami says that in put in words or talking about it is so difficult, and so I just thought of mentioning this item.
Thank you very much, brother. I think what Swami wants us to know is that until we have started practicing and experiencing to some extent, even if somebody were to talk, we will not understand. I think that's what I understand, sister. So we'll proceed with discussing further and practicing also, I guess, and then we will be in a better position to discuss.
Sairam. I suggested some young people ask me how to sit down on the floor. I said, watch the TV, sit down in front of the couch and the floor, and you watch the TV. Usually you forgot about yourself because watching the TV, so you can sit down after you had learned how to sit down, and the knee, everything is start flexible. Sairam, that's very easy to do that. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam. So maybe we will proceed, Sister Kalyani. I guess it is because it's a straightforward instruction.
Through meditation, people reach the divine experience of realizing the Atma within themselves. Through meditation, spiritual aspirants are able to cast off sheets of ignorance, layer after layer, They withdraw their sense perception from contact with the worldly objective experiences. The process that aims at this holy consummation deserves to be called meditation. For this process, one must be equipped with good habits, discipline, and high ideals. One must be full of renunciation toward worldly things and their attractions. Whatever the situation, one should conduct oneself with enthusiasm and joy. Whatever is done must be dedicated not for the eking out of a livelihood, but for earning Atmic bliss, Atmananda. One should train oneself to adopt a good sitting pose, asana, to avoid tension of the body and to ease the mind from the weight and pressure of the body. This is what deserves to be called pure meditation practice, Sattvika Dhyana Sadhana. Discipline is very necessary for this.
Sairam. I think Swami is giving us some aspects of what a person who has gone through meditation will develop, or progress in terms of what that we will see that our own contact with the world gradually reduces, and we will be only interested in Atmic bliss, as Swami says. And again, Swami has maybe clarified about how the sitting pose. Swami says we have to adapt a good sitting pose, which avoids tension in the body, ease the mind, and so on. I think that's Swami is just laying some more importance on the relaxed state in which we have to sit for doing meditation. But Swami says discipline is very necessary. However we sit, I think Swami wants us to keep the same posture however we sit. I think that needs to be maintained. And that's what I sort of understand from this. But I will open it up for any comments or discussion from the participants. Saira.
Sairam, brother. The person has to equip with good habits, discipline, high ideals. What is Swami is trying to say with the high ideals here? Thank you.
Saira.
Yeah.
Anyone who would like to comment on that, please? What do you consider high ideals?
Sairam, it could mainly, according to my understanding, mainly that is self-improvement, no self-realization, or the real attaining the Atma. That is the main thing. But other than that, high ideals, it could be that serving the people, enlarging our enlarging our help others, mainly the help others, serve others. So that is the high ideal usually. Mainly it could be a self-realization, no? That, so high ideals, yeah, that is it. Because usually high ideal, according to Bhava, is that serving the people, helping the people. No? Thank you, sir. That's what I think.
Thank you, brother.
Anyone else would like to share your thoughts, please?
Can I say this way, Sairam, to see God within, realize me as God, me and God as Sairam.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you.
Sairam, not for the worldly benefit or become a magician like that, We don't need to do that meditation for that purpose.
Yeah.
Only for the self-realization we have to do the meditation. That is the main goal. If you do that, Swami will help definitely. Saira.
Sairam, brothers. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone else would like to comment on anything which we have read, or any questions posed? So I think we will move on, Sister Kalyani.
Sorry. I want to interrupt in between. Swami is talking about renunciation. One moment.
Yeah.
Okay. One must be full of renunciation towards worldly things and their attractions. How do we do that? Because we are in the samskara, and what are we going to do? How we could renunciate everything like yogis? This is the beginning of the process, and how do we do that? Kindly share your thoughts. Thank you, Sarah.
So it's a good question, brother. But I will ask everyone else also to comment. As Brother Arul asks, renunciation may be the end goal, and why we are already starting out, and how can we cultivate renunciation is the question he's asking.
Saira, what Baba is saying is that in our mind, mind must be controlled. You live in a house, you wear whatever you wear, and whatever work you do, that's okay. But let us keep control over our mind, not get distracted or attracted by worldly, what do you call, enormous worldly attractions. And always our aim should be God, reaching God, whatever it is. So full concentration is realize God. But so in that way, your mind, we have to keep our mind under our control. So if we sit in for meditation, it should be within me, within that goal. So that's why we have to renouncing in the things, unnecessary food, unnecessary recreation, whatever is unnecessary, we have to discard it. That's what I understand from here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to comment, please?
Thank you, Brother Sivadas. Something like I think I don't know whether you might have seen the movie The Sindhu Bhairavi, and the main actor was teaching his wife the music, and then in between she's saying, "Oh, I have put something outside. I have to take that," something like that. Sort of a distractions. The goal should be we should have the aim should be perfect. That we should synchronize with the goal. Then only that this process of meditation will work for us. Thank you. I agree. Thank you so much.
Sairam, that meditation is not the easiest way to reach God. No, that is a very difficult way. I think that, and like that somebody inviting the king to the house, and he has to do a lot of works to invite, welcome the king. No, we have to put new furniture and white the house, and we have to do a lot of arrangements. No, if it is other ways, we have three ways to reach God. That one is service, and other one is bhakti. The three ways.
Okay, thank you very much, brother. Anyone else?
Then we can choose these ways, that bhakti or service. Sairam, am I there?
Yeah,
Sairam, are you listening to me?
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Yeah, okay. Okay. When we are doing that bhakti marga or service marga, that's we can do the both. No, that's that both are going to that same place, but we can do the both. When we are doing the service and the bhakti, that's like a double action. That's I have an idea. I have experience with that. Those days we are using the fire department people using the pump. That pump that we can do the double action pump. That's by you're pushing that also working the backward working that pump. like the double action. That's where is the service and that meditation. They both we can do that easy way like that. And the example says that if you are doing that Bhakti Marga, that is like a servant girl. She comes to the house and she do that all kinds of work at the home, and at the same time she is put a picture aside and praying to that picture, the God picture, and do that homework, and at the same time he do that Bhakti Marga too. That is easiest way to reach God. That's I'm saying that Swami says that this is that about that meditation. That meditation, like we are singing the song, that singing the bhajan. No, this is not easy. That's when we are connecting with the God. That is very, very difficult. If you are connected with God, you can go any extent. No, that's my experience. That I am saying that's like that. That's also like a meditation too. There's nothing different than meditation that connect to God with bhajan too. This way also easiest way to connect with God. That's why Swami says that in that Kali Yuga, that service and the meditation, service and that bhakti is that very, very easiest way to reach God. That's why I'm saying that. Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother.
Sairam.
Yes.
Sairam, for Brother Arul's question about how can we renunciate while we are in this the samsara world, I remember that one of the study circles previously we discussed about this one, and the renunciation not necessarily giving up everything and moving to the lonely place to do the meditation. You can still do the duty and everything, but not be attached to the outcome or the result. So in that way, even you can still within the family and do all the duty and everything in the samsara world, but still you would be considered to be a renunciate from the other things if you don't attach to the outcome or the result. That's the understanding I am having about the renunciation. Am I correct on that one? Or?
So, can you repeat, sister? Can you repeat what you said?
The renunciation, it doesn't mean that you have to give up all your samsara life. You have to go to a lonely place or doing the meditation. You can still do all your duties at household or in your family, and still you can renunciate by the way of, if you don't attach to the outcome, or the result, still you would be considered as renunciate from the samsara world. Say for an example, I am the maybe the mother of the of a family, and I don't go anywhere else to do any meditation or anything. I just do my duties at home, and still whatever the duty I do, but I don't attach to the outcome. But most of us, we attach to the outcome. If we do something to the children, we expect something back from them, or not like that. If we just do our duty, and if we don't think about the outcome, whether these children they will be doing to us, or without attaching to the outcome, if we do our duty at home, that also it would be considered as renunciation. That is my understanding. At this, in this time of the ancient period, it could be different. Now, each and everyone have to be in the samsara world, in the day-to-day life with the family and everything. We cannot run away from the family, but still we can achieve that renunciation level if we are moved to that level of unity, not attached to the outcome.
Okay, thank you very much, sister. I think it's that's my understanding as well. But I thought I will also read the Telugu. I think Mani Aunty is there, but I will read. She can correct me. Prapancha Vishayamulu Andugala Tivra Akarshanala Yada Viragamu Kaligi Undavalanu. This is what Swami says in Telugu. Basically, Prapancha Vishayamulu means the worldly things on the worldly matters. Antugala Tivra Akarshanam. There's a strong attraction from any of these worldly things. We should be having a viraga, means we should have less attachment, as Sister Ananthi said, or too much liking to these attractions of the world that we should cultivate. So Tivra Akarshana means they should not unduly be attracting us or distracting us. This is what Swami seems to be saying, which has been translated as renunciation in English. But Swami has used the word viraga, means without attachment, without likes, where there's a strong attraction from the world. This is what Swami has said. So basically, Swami wants us to contain. I think sealing on desires may be a good way to say what Swami is trying to say here. That's my understanding.
Can it be said, Swami also said that we should follow hands in the society, head in the forest. We still don't have to go into the forest as Turavi. We can still do our duties. As we spiritually progress, we will understand the true happiness. The true happiness is union with God. Material and wealth and all will not provide lasting happiness. The only happiness is ultimate and eternal happiness is union with God.
Okay, brother. Thank you very much. Yes, thanks.
Saira. Oh, sorry.
Saira, what's the thing is like whenever we're sitting for the meditation, so we're trying to do that one-pointedness. But we have bundle of thoughts, every day we just so many things we do, that whatever our mind collected, that thing is coming around whenever we're sitting for the meditation. So we're trying to make it put together to one-pointedness. So if we focus on unnecessary things like, okay, we have the habit of watching too much TV, too much, or watching movies and those kind of things, even that thing comes. That is experience. You can see everybody have, maybe you've gone through when you're sitting for the meditation. I think that's what Swami says. You just give up those habits and then you can easily focus this one. Otherwise, it's very difficult. It's taking forever. So just remove that unnecessary thoughts in your mind. That's what I think that Swami's meaning of this is, because for the beginners, and he's not saying that you give up everything. Like you have to do your duty, but what is the necessary duty you do by the time you focus on the meditation? You just gave up like unnecessary habits, unwanted habits. That's all. That's my thinking, Sarah.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. Very nice. I think somebody else wanted to say something.
Yes, yoga. Because when I do the puja, before I do the puja, preparation is take too long time. One day I sit down where I pray, ask Swami, why I spending more time to cleaning the place and check the oil of the lamp and change the water and flowers. Everything is too long. Is it necessary? And I don't know. Swami said, see, your mind calm down by using all these things. Your mind calm down very much. So that's what I am telling you. You are doing happy because that works, bring you down, the mind calm down. When you do pray, you can concentrate very focusfully on the prayer. Sairam. Sorry.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Sairam, I just want to make this point, especially regarding what Brother Rajagopal was saying, that none of us are like Mother Teresa or Mirabai or Adi Shankara or Ramana Maharishi. I am telling one example for each marga. So we are just ordinary average people, we can say spiritual aspirants, but so we cannot reject any one marga because all are necessary for us, but only thing everyone will need or naturally practice everything in different proportions. So we shouldn't say this is better, that is easier. One thing might be easier for one person and difficult for another person. So it all depends on the individual sadhaka. Sairam.
Sairam, brother. Thank you.
Sairam, because when we go to bed, everybody go to bed, we want to sleep. That's the only focus. We never worry about this in tomorrow program, yesterday, what happened, now what happened, what my properties, nothing we won't don't worry. Just went to bed, oh my God, go to bed. We sleep very well. The same way we have to practice that too for the meditation, I guess. Thank you, sir.
Sairam, Sairam. I think we covered quite a bit of various angles. We could proceed.
Sorry, Sairam, Vasudha here. I just had a question. Are you able to read the Telugu translation of that part, which says, whatever is done must be dedicated not for the eking out of a livelihood, but for earning Atmic bliss?
Is it this paragraph or the previous paragraph, sister?
The second paragraph.
Second paragraph, in the middle of the para. I think something is lost in translation there. So I was curious what the original Telugu script is saying.
Okay. ఏ కార్యము చేసినను జీవిత మార్గమునకు కాక ఆత్మానందమునకని భావించవలెను. జీవిత మార్గమునకు కాక. So we should not, whatever we do, especially the meditation, when we do, I guess, we should not be concerned about Jivita Margam for our livelihood. I think that's for earthly life. But for the sake of Atmanandamunakane Bhavinchavala. Whatever we do, we should do it for that. That's what it says. I think Jivita Margamunaku has been translated as eating the livelihood.
But
right,
it should not. It should. Excuse me, Sairam.
Yes, Auntie.
It should not be used as a means of eking out a livelihood from this kind of this thing. So that's what Swami is trying to say here, I think. తీవ్ర ఆకర్షణములు ఎడవీరగా కలిగి ఉండవలెను ఎట్టి సమయమందును ఉత్సాహ. That's not it. Next, I think the previous what yes. She was previous she is saying. That is it. I think Arun just try to read that portion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the translation? Is the translation okay, Auntie? Jivita Margamunaku eking out.
Not to make it as a means of livelihood.
Yes.
That's what I think is said. Some people, they teach dhyana. They run camps and they say that we are going to teach you dhyana, come to us and then we'll teach you how to do it, and then they charge. That is wrong. That Swami is trying to sell. Isn't that, Arun?
Yeah, that's also true. And I think there are people who go to do meditation so that they think they will succeed in the world.
Oh, the other way also. the other way.
So both ways, such people only go for these camps. They will say you can, if you come, you will develop positive thinking, you can become a millionaire and things like that.
Yeah.
So people do meditation, positive thinking, all that comes to play.
And
but Swami says,
and those who run the schools for Dhyana also, they are also here. There, Swami is trying to warn such people.
Yes.
Okay.
So it means not to commercialize this, but to actually get self, fulfillment, in not like worldly fulfillment, but
spiritual
fulfillment. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sisters. Thank you. So I think we could move on, Sister Kalyani.
Everyone has the right to spiritual success. The troubles and tribulations that come in the wake of an attempt to destroy the undesirable activities of the mind will disappear through the strict course and rules described above. What remains is only putting them into actual practice by the spiritual aspirant. Even the most powerful drug cannot effect a cure when it is brought to the bedside of the patient. The sufferer has to take it in, little by little, as per schedule, with all the attendant care, and try to assimilate it into the system. The healing principle of the drug must pervade the entire body. The body must be suffused with the drug. Similarly, the authoritative texts, Siddhantas, and the Vedanta have no power to destroy individual faults and 15 weaknesses. If full results are wanted, then one must give up all false and low feelings and act according to the true teachings of the Vedanta and the Siddhantas. If one does, one will attain the fruit. The secret of success in meditation lies in the purity of the inner life of the spiritual aspirant. The success is proportionate to the importance the spiritual aspirant gives to the right conduct. Sanmarga. Everyone has the right to achieve this high degree of success. I do not say this in just a quiet tone. I declare this loud enough for all quarters to hear. Knowing this, meditate and advance. Do meditation and progress. Realize the Atma.
So Swami is basically saying that no one should think that it is not for them. But he's also saying that the progress, the success we get in this path is based on how much effort we put in to the good path, Sanmarga, as Swami says. And he says until we absorb this medicine of meditation and let it pervade our entire being, we will not really understand or get the benefit from it. So, and he wants us to, I think, do it slowly. We should not even look for quick progress, I guess. He says little by little, as per schedule, and with all the care which we have to give. This is just Swami insisting. I think two things he's doing. He's giving us hope that all of us can achieve progress. Second thing, he's also saying that we should pursue it with persistent effort, and the progress will come little by little as we fully imbibe meditation into our being. That's what I could sort of understand. So I will ask others to share your thoughts, please. Saira. Anyone else would like to?
Brother, a question to you. So authoritative text, Siddhantas, what is meant by that? That's one question. Then 15 weaknesses, he has not listed here. If you know a little, some idea on that too.
Swami, I will just read the Telugu version. Atle Siddhantamulu, Vedantamulu, Manushyani Vyaktigata Doshamulanu.
కాదు దేహము వ్యక్తిగత దోషములను పూర్తిగా తొలగించి శక్తి లేకున్నవి.
Yeah, so I don't know how the 15 weaknesses came.
I don't know how 15 weaknesses came here.
Yeah, maybe a mistake.
It's not mentioned. It's not mentioned in the Telugu version.
It is a typo. Yeah.
15 means I think he mentions many mistakes, many weaknesses we have. It's not exactly 15 weaknesses.
It could be also a typo.
No, in Telugu there's no mention of.
So I have a book, original book. Actually, there's no 15 is missing.
Yeah.
So this, I think.
No, it's just a.
I think it's the original book. In the original book,
in Swami's.
It's the 14th page or 15th page.
Yeah.
So what is happening is this actually most of this was done in an automated, digitized fashion. So some of these page numbers also have crept in from what I can.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sairam, brother.
So Swami is, sorry sister, one second. So Swami is talking about Siddhantas and Vedantas.
Vedantas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Siddhantas are scriptural texts, scriptures. Siddhantam. Vedantam is Upanishad, isn't that, Arun?
Yes, indeed.
Siddhanta is the scriptures, our Vedas.
Yeah. Usually, the word authoritative text is used for these three the source texts like
Vedas,
Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, and Brahma Sutra. These three are usually denoted by the word authoritative text. But as sister said, it may be that other than other sastras than the Vedanta. Siddhanta means could be agamas and other things.
Yeah,
if it had been there, Swami would have mentioned Prasthanatraya. What you are mentioning about the three texts, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, and
but
here it is just a Siddhanta.
Yeah,
as sister said and Sudha said, so Vedanta is obviously Upanishads and Prasthanatraya. So Siddhanta must be other scriptures like Agamas. We have to take it that way.
So the difference between Vedanta and Siddhanta, from what I understand, Siddhanta is Siddhas who have achieved, have come to certain conclusions based on their personal research and experiments. Whereas Vedanta is supposed to be words from God. Okay, so Shruti, they come from Shruti. So they're Shabda Pramana. Whereas Siddhantas are based on the personal experiences and experiments of people who have achieved heights. They put together material, various sutras and so. For example, if you look at Patanjali Yoga Sutras and things like that, they are all people who have practiced these and have come to certain conclusions and give us guidance at the end of their attaining the on the accomplished. Those are called Siddhanta. One is Siddhi, who have attained Siddhi. At the end of their attaining Siddhi, they come up with guidance, guiding principles. So that those are considered.
That makes sense, very sense. Yeah.
Okay, Sai.
We can mention the authors to that text, like yes, correct. But for the Vedanta, we have no author, no? That's okay. Yeah.
So brother, this is we have to have a lot of understanding in order to grasp that sentence, right? It's not easy to understand, and the way it says Swami, in order to understand the right give up all false and low feelings. To understand that, you have to know that what is Vedanta and Siddhanta is saying, that is something I think we cannot understand at this point, I think. Thank you, Saira.
So I think at this point, Swami is just making a mention. Basically, what he says, even if you have the best of material, just by just reading or cursory glance at it, or not imbibing it and putting it into practice, even if the best of things, you will not benefit by just saying, or if I even say Veda chanting, if you just chant the Vedas, many people think everything will be done. Swami will say, no, that is not going to do it. Because just repeating the word does not make things happen. You have to understand, and you have to put it into practice, and you have to experientially realize it. So that is what Swami is talking about. Even meditation, we can sit and argue and debate, is this beneficial or that is beneficial? Swami says,
okay. So if we are not going to that extent even, in order for us to understand, give up all false and low feelings, how we can identify those things, that because if you don't have a Vedanta Siddhanta only defining that, right? So how we are going to define without knowing that part? I'm just thinking, because to do the meditation you have to understand that. Thank you, Sairam.
I think Swami wants us to study, sister. What we are reading now itself is Siddhanta Vedanta.
So Swami's discourses and Vahini's, that's why we are studying. It all contains all what's said in the Vedanta. It's, if we study Swami's discourses and Vahini's, we don't have to study anything else. It all contains that.
So in that case, what you in a normal way, okay, we'll forget about the Siddhanta Vedanta. Where we are seeing that which is we are seeing as false and low feelings, how you will identify those things. So if we, at least the basic, if we get it, so okay, Siddhanta Vedanta we can learn later, but at least to the start point, we have to understand that. Because it's a meditation part, so I'm trying to understand though. Thank you, Saira.
So in Telugu, Swami is using these words. He's saying asatya dosha bhavamulanu tolaginchi. Okay. Basically, asatya means untruth. Dosha means which are tainted, which are wrong, which are blemished. Okay. Such feelings should be given up. So we should give up untruth and any negative, bad, wrong feelings. I guess that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's good. Thank you, Sarah.
I think it's okay. I think because it's rather simple and straightforward. Swami is basically giving us the encouragement. He's also giving us the warnings, and he's also telling us what we should practice. I think some of it may be common sense also. So I think we can continue on. I hope people don't feel rushed because there's not much discussion, so I am moving on. I hope it's okay. But if anyone has any questions, even after we pass, you can always raise it. Okay, Saira. Sister Kalyani, maybe we will.
Chapter 3, the goal of meditation. Living is either pleasant or unpleasant, depending upon one's basic attitude towards life. See how the same object becomes pleasant once and unpleasant on another occasion. The thing welcomed with great fondness at one time becomes hateful at another time, and there is not even the desire to see it. The condition of the mind at those times is the cause of this state. Therefore, it is necessary to train the mind to be always pleasant. Control the temper of the mind. The waters of a river leap from mountains, fall into valleys, and rush through the gorges. Tributaries join at various stages, and the waters become turbid and unclean. So too, in the flood of human life, speed and power increase and decrease. These ups and downs might happen at any moment during life. No one can escape them. They may come at the beginning of life, at the end, or perhaps in the middle. So one has to convince oneself firmly that life is necessarily full of ups and downs, and that, far from being afraid and worried over them, one should welcome them as adding to one's experience. One should not only feel like this, but one should be happy and glad whatever happens. Then all troubles, whatever their nature, will pass away lightly and quickly. For this, the temper of the mind is essential.
Sai Ram, sister, thank you. Swami is sort of insisting, or Swami is telling us, that maintaining a pleasant state of mind is very essential. And he's also saying that in life, everyone has to face ups and downs, and challenges of various kinds come at various stages of life, at different stages for different people. For some, it could be early, for some, it will be middle, some it could be at the end. So we know, when we know that that is the real nature of life, we should not let them affect our state of mind, and we should try to cultivate a constant state of being pleasant or be happy at always, under all circumstances. Swami is saying that is important for us to maintain. And I think in some of them, so that's what I would say. And I will open it up for anyone to comment on this place as what strikes you as something. Because this ultimately is the goal of meditation also, it looks like. Sai.
Equanimity of mind is very important. Ups and downs are always there in our lives. So taking things in their this thing and accepting it in the same way. Samatvam, what we call samatvam, is very important. So Swami is insisting that take everything in its stride. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Auntie Sai Ram.
So Sai Ram,
Yes.
so the important thing is you have to keep the mind calm. Equanimity is the important thing. If someone hurt you, just think, this is my past karma. I did it for somebody. So this time I'm facing that one. So keep that way your mind calm and don't get anger. If my karma is gone, someone says something to you, someone hurt you, don't affected by that one. Just think always is my karma is gone, I'm done. So move on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to share anything, please?
So whatever the situation comes, and we should be calm all the time. That's very important for the part of the meditation, because like whenever that everything affects our people saying things, so like a little things affects in our life, then we can progress on the meditation. So anything happen, it's for just take it, it's for good. There is always something good for it, right? And that's the way that the Swami is saying. That's what my case is. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share your thoughts or impressions?
Saira,
Sorry, go ahead, Auntie.
Oh, thank you. the first paragraph, the last sentence, it says it is necessary to train the mind to be always pleasant. I'm wondering the word pleasant from the discussion right now we have had, is the equanimity or it's the balancing or samatvam, whether that word is the correct word to train the mind to be always pleasant. We have previously we studied, each action, it's like a prayer, the good, bad, pleasant, sad, or it's the opposite way. So I thought that whether that the word pleasant is the right word in this context, or whether they maybe rather than pleasant, to be always in the balance or always in the equanimity state or something. Maybe that could be more meaningful in this one rather than saying pleasant. Keeping the mind always pleasant, it's not an easy thing. You can be in the balance, not crying, not jumping, and you can keep yourself in the balancing state, in between. But keeping the mind to be pleasant, it's very difficult. Practically, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, I understand, sister. I will just read the Telugu for maybe there are a couple of Telugu people who can also help out. Atti manassunu ellappudu ప్రీతి హితముగానే ఉండునట్లు చేసి కొనుట ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి అవసరము. Basically, the Swami is saying we should somehow make our mind Preeti and Hitamugani. Preeti means to be in a state of happiness. Hita means to wish for the best. I think that's my understanding. So we should have always a positive state of mind and we should be happy. And Swami has used the word chesi. Undu natlu chesi kona means as if that is the state, we should somehow make the mind like that. I don't know, Auntie Mani or Sister Vasudha can help out if the translation is okay. So Swami is showing that there is an effort, and as if it is happy, as if it is positive, we should somehow make it. That's the way I understand, but I will ask. So I think, sister, you are right. It is not easy, but Swami wants us to train, and I think others have also talked about it. I think Brother Varadan also spoke about it. I think I will ask Sister Vasudha what she thinks is the proper translation. Preeti hitamuge gane untanatlu.
Means like it becomes Preeti is love and Hitam is devoid of love. So Undanatlu means in that state. Although this is not colloquial Telugu, this is not how we speak at home though. Or actually I grew up in Bengal, as you have all heard me tell about my experience in Bengal, and so this is more of a official and preaching kind of language, but what you translated does seem to be correct. But Sister Mani might be able to elaborate.
Okay, thank you very much, sister.
Arun,
Yes, sir.
త్రిపటలు ఉంటాయేమి? త్రిపటలు అది ఎదురు కరే త్రిపతలు జీవిత ప్రవాహమున సహితము త్రిపతలు అధిక ప్రవాహములు. I think there is a word called tripatalu.
That's later on, Auntie. But I'm going to the paragraph. I think the second paragraph, first sentence, Auntie. Atti manasuna ellapudu ప్రీతి హితము.
That's what I am saying. ప్రీతి హితముగానే ఉండనట్లు చేసుకో. ప్రీతి హితము.
How would you translate that, Auntie?
Pleasant. Can it be hitamu? I think they are similar words.
Yeah. Hita means beneficial, isn't it?
Beneficial.
Yes. Hita means beneficial. Preeti is what is pleasant.
Pleasant. Pleasant and beneficial. That's all. Pleasant and beneficial.
Yes. So our mind should be cultivated to be pleasant and beneficial. Maybe a positive state of mind at all times.
Yeah. Correct. That's what. No. Here in the next sentence, చిన్న కాలువలు చేరి కలిపితట్టుకు మున్నగమని ఏ విధముగా ఉండునో అట్లే మానవుని జీవిత ప్రవాహమును సహితము త్రిపతలు. I think tripatalu means
changes, Auntie. In Tamil we'll say tirpu managa. Is it?
జీవిత ప్రవాహమున సహితము త్రిపతలు అంటే కింద పోయేది.
Okay, it's falling down.
Patalu.
Okay, patana.
Patalu.
Okay.
You fall down. That's
yes.
it. అధిక ప్రవాహములు హెచ్చువలు ఓడి దుడుకులు వచ్చుసుండును.
Okay, so basically our life is bound to fall down and get up.
Yeah.
At all times, everyone will face in different stages of life. And Swami says through all this, we should try to keep a positive state of mind.
In Tyagaraja Kirtana, he says, Aparama Bhaktiyanto, Tripatalanu Tirchi Kanti, Repavalanu Kachunamma, Aparama Bhaktiyanto. That's there I have come across the Tripatalu.
I see. So he's saying if you have the bhakti, you can overcome any of that.
Overcome, that's it.
Thank you very much, Anand. So I hope, I don't know, Sister Anandi, you still have a question, or I don't know whether you got the answer or not. But we try to discuss as much as possible to understand what we should cultivate. I think we have to make some effort, is what I understand from all this.
I got some understanding from the Telugu version when they translate. I got some extra meaning in that one. It is necessary to train the mind. The mind, it wouldn't take, but we have to really train the mind to be beneficial and pleasant. That's what Swami is trying to say here. We should train the mind. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Saira.
So, Sairam brother, then all the troubles, whatever their nature, will pass away lightly and quickly. It's like we have to think like a passing cloud. We should not think this is a permanent. And when you think like that, everything will be okay. Thank you.
This too shall pass. We have to believe in that.
Sairam, whatever trouble we get from all the worldly things, we can think that it's all come from the God. We take it as a prasadam from the God. We can enjoy it and happy with it. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, brother. Thank you. So, I think today was so heavy. I think a lot for us to contemplate, and I guess to put into practice, as Swami has said, that only by putting it into practice we can experience. Without making the effort, it's not going to help us. Is what Swami is saying. Maybe we will try to practice. It's a good day for us to make a determination to practice. We have almost reached the time allotted for the session. Thanks to everyone for sharing your thoughts and contributing to the discussion. We will close today with Samastaloka and Shanti Shanti. Happy Dashara to all of you, a holy Dashara, an auspicious one. May Swami continue to guide us in this path. Saira. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.